So fall's finally here, and you know what that means besides pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin pie, and all that stuff, is it's finally wedding season. This time of year, I have more weddings per week than any other week in the entire year. So I figured this video would be appropriate because I'm gonna give you 3 steps to start your goal of becoming a wedding photographer. And starting off with step 1, this is gonna be the learning phase of your journey. First things first, we're gonna need to buy a camera. Now this is an APS-C camera. It's the Sony a6400. If you have the budget, I do recommend going full frame, but an APS-C camera will often be good enough when you're first starting off wedding photography. Next, you're gonna need to get a lens. This is the 24-70, specifically the Sigma 24-70, but anything relatively close to that focal length will do amazing for you. I find the 24-70 is a good all-around lens and the best first choice for your first lens investment. Down in the description, I'm gonna leave a link to a video going over several different budget options for getting into photography, as well as why I think the 24-70 is the best starting lens to go with. Once you have your first setup, then you're gonna start learning other things like the camera basics. Write these down because these are the things I think you have to learn immediately. First, you're gonna wanna learn manual. You're never gonna unlock the fullest potential of your camera unless you know manual. There's gonna be situations where you need to adjust your exposure differently because people are moving too fast. Your aperture is extremely important. You need to learn about why you should shoot with a low aperture number versus a high aperture number. For example, when you're shooting portraits, shooting anywhere between an f1.4 and an f2.8 is gonna create a nice blurry background back here, making your subject pop that just more. And then when you're shooting group photos, you're gonna wanna set it to like f5.6. So that way, when you have big groups, everyone's gonna be more in focus. Once you have your camera basics down, you're gonna wanna move on to your flash photography. You will want to learn both on-camera and off-camera flash. When you're first getting into it, I do recommend trying TTL. It's kind of like almost automatic. TTL means through the lens. So your flash is gonna recognize what your settings are and adjust accordingly for that. But eventually you will wanna learn manual flash as well. And again, I'll leave a link down in my description for my flash photography tutorials. And lastly, for step 1, you're gonna wanna start practicing. What I would do for this is offer your friends and family portrait sessions, as well as just deep dive into things like posing and prompts, pose your subjects better, and practice that on your friends and family. As a quick tip, when you're doing posing, really deep dive into using prompts. For example, one of my favorite prompts is whisper in your partner's ear what you had for breakfast. This usually generates some sort of really natural laughing response, and it just creates a candid moment, even though it's a staged photo. So prompting is key. Learn it, use it. It's an amazing portrait photography tool. So that's like the basic 101 intro to what you need to do first. Next, we're gonna move on to step 2, and that is building your experience. First thing you wanna do is create a Facebook page representing yourself. Post some pictures of your friends and family portraits, so that way you start building some sort of portfolio and presence. Next, I would consider looking for someone with a low budget wedding, offer to do it for a very low price or even free, because honestly, experience is going to be amazing. You're gonna be able to use those photos to build a portfolio, as well as just learn the ins and outs of how it's like navigating a wedding. Another good tip is find local photography groups. Check Facebook, see if there's anything in your area for a Facebook group for your local photographers. And there, make a post basically saying, hey, I'm a photographer looking to get into wedding photography. If anyone needs a second shooter, please let me know. I'd be willing to do it for a pretty low cost. And you're gonna learn so much from shooting under someone else's wing. And that's gonna be really your bread and butter to first getting started in wedding photography. Become a second shooter. It's gonna help you gain a lot of experience, see what they do, as well as you're gonna be able to start expressing yourself creatively in between the tasks the main photographer is having you do. And lastly, once we have step 1 and step 2 done, this should take anywhere from a year to 2 years. You're gonna move on to step 3, and that is building your brand. You're not just a wedding photographer, you're a brand. Anyone can take pictures, but not everyone can take pictures the way you take them. You have a unique style, your editing style is gonna be unique, you're gonna have unique shots, and all of these things that are unique to you is your brand. You're gonna wanna represent this brand on your Facebook page and your website. You're gonna wanna create a website matching your brand and your vibe. I recommend using Squarespace. It's very easy to use and it's very clean and simple. And you're gonna wanna represent that brand extremely well. Instead of just delivering clients an online gallery, do things like creating a USB custom box business. You can go to Etsy.com, get USB engraved boxes to deliver your photos, and don't tell your clients that you're doing that. What this is gonna help do is get like a response from the bride and groom where it's like, oh, cool, I got a gift. And it's gonna put that in the back of their head and they're gonna recommend you. So first, building a brand. Second, being nice to all your clients is gonna help organically grow your business. Outside of organic growth, how do you get recognized initially? Well, I recommend Facebook advertising. I have an entire video about Facebook advertising. I'll leave another link down in the description for that. It helped me immensely when I first started off, and it goes into all the details you need to know about utilizing the tool that is Facebook advertising. And the last thing to keep in mind with your brand, like I talked about earlier, don't be afraid to express yourself. You can be a little different. There's a ton of wedding photographers out there, but not everyone is looking for the same thing. If you build something that's unique to you, client A might not be interested in that, but client B is gonna be extremely interested in that. This is gonna allow you to specifically niche down to a specific style and edit, and it's gonna attract clients that you wanna work with because they're gonna be more on your level as a person. Editing and photography is very expressive, and your clients are just as expressive. So honestly, this is the biggest tip. Be yourself. It's gonna reflect in your photography, it's gonna reflect in your editing, and it's gonna help you land clients that you vibe with very well, making it that much more fun and easy to do something that might be otherwise stressful like a wedding. So I hope these steps help you out. It's basically the steps that I followed to become a wedding photographer. So doing something similar might get you on the right path. I'm very responsive to comments. If anyone has any questions about starting a wedding photography business, please just hit me up. I'm gonna respond to you. I'll have a conversation with you. I try my best to respond to every single comment, and I try not to ghost comments ever. Be sure to check out those videos that I left down in the description because it's gonna give you a more in-depth feel of the various topics that I talked about. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below and turn that notification bell on to keep up to date with all my latest content. I try and come out with a bunch of shorts every week and a long form video every week. So until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.